Om. 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 Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varane Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om. Pranams to the lotus feet of the Lord, pranams to all the Mahatmas and Gurujis, pranams to all of you. Shloka number 89. Sahasrarchis saptajikvah saptaidha saptavahanah amurtirana ghocintyo bhayanashanah. We have started seeing the shloka. We have seen the first two namas. Sahasrarchihi. Sahasrarchihi means one who radiates countless rays. Then Saptajikvaha, one who has got 7 tongues. In the class we saw the 7 tongues: Kali, the black one; Karali, the frightening one; Manojava, the swift one; Sulohita, the red one; Sudumra Varna, the smoky one; Spulingini, the sparkling one; Vishurupi, the one who moves around. So all these are mentioned in the Mundaka Upanishad actually. So there are these 7 tongues, 7 types of flames. Then Saptaidaha. Next one we have to see is 828th Nama, Saptaidaha. Saptaidaha means one who has 7 flames. Now earlier the Saptajikvaha we said one who has 7 tongues of flames. Here we say it is a one who has 7 flames. So Yedas means flame or fuel. Again, fuel can mean any fuel or special fuel used for rituals. As Agni, he has 7 flames or 7 types of fuel. That is one meaning you can take. Other meaning you can take is as Atma, he receives these sense perceptions in the form of Sapta Edas, 7 fuels offered into the 7 holes of the body. Okay, to the Atma, because Pancha Jnanendriyangal, Paramja Karmendriyangal. So in the Jnanendriyangal, you have got, in the Jnanendriyangal, you have got the eyes, nose, ears, like this, it is going inside. So that is another meaning you can take. From there, all the fuels, all the worldly informations are going inside. That is another meaning. Then the next one is 829, Saptavahana, one who has 7 horses. One who has 7 horses. Again, 2 types of interpretations given in the commentary. The first one is Lord Sun is depicted as traveling in the sky in a chariot drawn by 7 horses, or by 1 horse called Sapta. And the 7 horses stand for the 7 colors of the spectrum, and a single horse stands for the spectrum. And as it is Parameshwara who is in the form of the sun, so he is Saptavahana. So this is one meaning. The second meaning is Bhagavan is seated in the Vedas, because the Vedas, which are in the form of words, talk about Bhagavan, and he is seen as Sadhana Sadhya, as Dharma, as Devatas, as Karana Karya, and also as his Swarupa. What all the things? Is Sadhana Sadhya, as Dharma, as Devatas, as Karana Karya, and also as his Swarupa. So if the Vedas is a chariot and Bhagavan is riding in it, then the 7 horses are the 7 meters in the Veda. There are 7 meters. There are so many meters in Sanskrit poetry, and 7 meters are famous. And what all the 7 meters? Gayatri is one of the famous meters, where Gayatri means 24 aksharams made of Gayatri. So that is one which is famous. Then the other ones are 6 meters are Brihati, Ushnik, Jagati, Srishtup, Anushtup, Pankti. These are all the other meters. And normally in our Sandhya Vandanam, we invoke all these 7 meters, which we call it as a Shandhyas. So we always do it during the Sandhya Mantra. When we pray before the Gayatri Mantra chanting, we do this. Anyhow, that's another meaning of it. Then Amurtihi, the 830th Nama. Amurtihi, the formless. Here again, two ways of looking at it. Does Bhagavan have a form? He is Amurti, formless. We have seen earlier we say Ekarupam, Anekarupam. Ultimately, the original God is Arupam, formless. So if every form is his form, then he has no particular form. So form is a mithya. It is neither existent nor non-existent. So Bhagavan is essentially formless. So Murti can mean a solid form with limbs and parts, a body through which one can say this is a human being, this is a cow, and so on. So this body is got as a result of karma, and since Lord has got no karma, he has no form. This is one interpretation. And the second one is in the Aitareya Upanishad. Aitareya Upanishad refers to food as the Murti and says, Lord, after creating living beings, created annam, food for them. And in the form of chara, the moving objects, such as mice for the cats and so on, and achara for immovable, in the form of grains for others. And as Bhagavan has neither the hunger nor the thirst, so he is not a bhokta, an enjoyer, so he does not need any food at all. So therefore, he is Amurti. So this is the Aitareya Upanishad. There is another commentary. From there also, you can take the meaning also. Anyhow, Bhavan is formless. That is very clear. Then the next Nama, Anagaha. Anagaha, one without any papa or sorrow. Since Bhagavan is formless, it is natural, he has no agha. Now, agha means neither papa nor its manifestation in the form of dukkha. Then does he have punya and its manifestation in the form of sukha? That is also, answer is no. He does not have that also. While earlier, the same Nama, Anaga, we have done it in the 146th Nama. In Shloka number 16, we have done it. Where Rajishnur Bhojanam Bhokta Sahishnur Jagadadichaha Anagho Vijayojeta Vishwayonif Punarvasugu. There we have seen Anagaha. There we have given the commentary as only as the Papa. And here the addition is, in addition to the Papa, we are adding the sorrow also. Because the Nama, there we said Papa. Here, because what is the effect of Papa? There will be sorrow. And the sorrow is also included in this particular meaning, in this context. So one who has got no papa, no sorrow, because he does not have papa or punyam. I mean, when say papam, Bhagavan does not have punyam also, Bhagavan does not have sukham also. So he is sukha, dukkha, atitaha. He is beyond all those things. So while the earlier Nama was negating mainly the papa, here the effect of aga as dukkha is also negated for the Bhagavan. Then the next one is achintyaha. Achintyaha means one who cannot be thought of. Achintyam, actually formless. He is achintya, cannot be thought of, as he cannot be objectified by any pramana, any of the known means of knowledge. Because further the pramata, the knower, who objectifies everything, cannot objectify Bhagavan, who is the witness of every pramata. He is not even objectified through the words of Shastra, which only point to him through implication. So essentially, he is oneself and hence self-revealing. So he need not be an object of thought. Every thought is Bhagavan. Bhagavan cannot be enclosed in a thought, because thought itself is Bhagavan. In fact, just now in the Vivek Chudamani class, we discussed in detail about this. Because Bhagavan is the one who is the Bhagavan as Atma, which Atma in each Jiva we call it as a Sakshi. So the Sakshi is the one which enlivens even the mind, where the thought is coming. So where's the question of the thought coming? So you cannot even think of it, because the thought itself is Bhagavan. The thought itself is Bhagavan. So how do you understand? So Upanishad comes and negates everything and say, you are that Swarupam, you are that. Tatitvam asi. You are that. That means what? Aham Brahmasmi. So by implications, the Upanishads trying to make us understand, because there's you don't need to search for something. That whatever you are searching is, you are already, it is there. You are that. It is not in you. You are that only. That means you are the Ananda Swarupam, you are the Sat Swarupam, you are the Chit Swarupam. Everything is you. So, further, how can you even think of Bhagavan as Almighty or Omniscient? What can you one think of? He is the Sarva Prapancha Vilakshana, unlike and totally different from anything in the universe. Therefore, he is Achintya, cannot be thought of as this is how he is. So, as Arupam, you cannot describe Bhagavan at all. In fact, we say he is beyond time and space. Put it this way, he is beyond time and space. And whatever the mind can work is only based on the time and space only. So he cannot be described. Of course, for our understanding, we give various ways of describing. That is why we comes down with the Maya Shakti. Bhagavan comes down, and then that's where we say Bhagavan is omniscient, omnipotent, and everything. And then they say he has got the form, and then we has got the avatars, where we have got the avatars as a Ekarupam, we say, and he is the one who is a Vishwarupa. When along with Maya, he appears as the universe. He appears as the universe. This we have seen it earlier also. So that we have to understand. So he is Achintya. Nowadays people name their children also as Achintya. Okay. Then Bhayakrit. Bhayakrit means one who causes fear, one who removes the fear. So the word Bhayakrit can mean both a source of fear as well as the remover of fear, depending on the way you understand. The Sanskrit grammar, accordingly, you can use this particular word. So Bhagavan is, so for a person, let me put it this way, for a person who does not have a proper understanding of the Bhagavan, he is a fear. For a person who really knows who is the Bhagavan, there's no fear at all. Very clear. Because once you understand Bhagavan, who is Bhagavan? Bhagavan is nothing but what? Aham Brahmasmi, we say. When they say Aham Brahmasmi, where is the question of fear coming? So, Bhagavan is never separate from oneself. So, one is not afraid of oneself. So, if he is not understood, then he is away from you and becomes a Bhaya Hetu, a source of fear. He is the giver of the results of actions. And one gets unpleasant results or obstacles as a result of violating dharma. He seems to be a Bhayakrit, cause of fear. On the other hand, one gets a pleasant and favorable results as a result of following dharma. He seems to be a Bhayakrit, a remover of fear. That is at the, what we call it as the transactional plane. And actually speaking, there's no fear at all, because nothing to be feared about. Because what? I am that Atma. I am the Bhagavan. This is the Advaita Siddhanta. Very difficult to swallow. But this is a fact. So once you understand, there is no question of fear at all. If you don't understand the true nature of Bhagavan, then whenever there are some obstacles coming due to the papas rectifying, you will have a fear. Whenever there are some good things are happening in your life, then you say Bhagavan is giving, then you don't have fear. So he removes the fear. So removal of fear and giving of the instigating the fear, all of them are only mithya. This is how the Advaita clearly explains it. So he is the Bhayakrit. So this is where the problem is for children. When we start educating the children as a 3 years, 4 years, and then we introduce Bhagavan in a very wrong way, saying that Bhagavan will come and torture you like this if you don't do this, if you don't eat like this, we do it, which is a very, very wrong way of teaching religion. Unfortunately, this is how most of the parents do it. Why? Because they do not know the religion. They don't study Vishnu Sahasranaamam. That is the problem. So one should understand, it's a fear is for what? For people who are not really understanding. That's what it is. Then Bhaya Nashanaha, the destroyer of fear. If Bhagavan is understood, then he destroys our fear and becomes the cause of fearlessness. So the one who is the Bhaya Hetu becomes the Bhaya Nashana. In fact, it is the only ignorance that causes fear. For those who follow dharma pertaining to the varna and ashrama, Bhagavan becomes the destroyer of fear. When Bhagavan is understood in the form of the psychological order, that understanding itself helps us to get rid of the fear. So every fear, every emotion is valid, and when the validity is understood, then one does not blame oneself or God. One accepts a certain universal order, accepts Ishvara in the form of that order, and so everything is within the order. So ignorance is the cause of the problem, and knowledge is the solution. So let me explain you a little more. See, Bhayanashana can be done in a two ways. One is with jnanam, other one is without jnanam. Jnanam means what? Self-knowledge. That you have to understand. Self-knowledge, Atma Jnanam is called jnanam generally. So when you do a self-inquiry, you understand. So there the Bhayam can be completely gotten rid of because Aham Brahmasmi. But before getting the jnanam, you can get rid of your fear by what? Bhagavan is a Bhayanashana. By what? As long as you are not a Artha Artharthi Bhakta, as long as you are not having the Raga Dvesha, as long as you become a Nishkama Bhakta, as long as you be a Karma Yogi, you don't have any fear at all. Be a Karma Yogi. What is be a Karma Yogi? Everything is Bhagavan. Bhagavan, everything I do is for the sake of Bhagavan. Every action I do is for the sake of Bhagavan. Every result I get out of the actions is all the prasada of the Bhagavan, the gift of the Lord. I never reject anything, even if it is unpleasant. I accept both pleasant and unpleasant things which is coming in my life. This is what is called Karma Yoga. Bhagavan says in the Gita, Nehabhik Ramanashosti Pratyavayona Vidyate Swalpamabhyasya Dharmas Swalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Even if you follow the Karma Yoga a little bit, the fear will go away. You don't need to get Jnanam at all. Jnanam is very difficult for many people. Many people are not ready. Manushyanam sagasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. Yatatam abhisiddhanam kaschinmam veti tatvatah. There are many people who are striving. Only few people go to the Mount Everest and climb successfully. So if you feel you are too far away from Jnanam, Bhagavan says, be a Karma Yogi. What do you mean by be a Karma Yogi? Everything offered to the Lord. Very simple thing. This is what in the Vaishnava Sampradaya we call it as a Sharanagati. You fall prostrate, you fall at the feet of the Lord and take everything as this prasada. I mean, try to reduce your the so-called individuality and ahankara, mamakara, dilute it by Karma Yoga. How do you do is, anything I do it, I am doing for the sake of Lord. That means there's no comparison with others, there's no matsaryam, jealousy, nothing. Anything I do it for the sake of Bhagavan. So I do even a boring job in a best way. I do mundane, dirty job, I do in a sincere way. So there's no question of fear. Whatever is given based on my varna and ashrama, based on the TRP, time, role, and place, whatever I am given, I will continue to do it, and Bhagavan will take care. Anything comes, I'll take it as a prasada. That means what? I don't have any special prayers at all. There's no sakama prayers. You have to get away from sakama prayers to nishkama. That is the real prayer. That is the real bhakti. Otherwise, we'll be going with a begging bowl to the Lord. Bhagavan, please give me this. I'm always suffering. I'm doing this. In the initial stage, it is okay, but you have to overcome those barriers. Don't keep on going to the Navagraha and then go around. Because today is Saturday, right? You go to Navagraha and say Shani Bhagavan. People don't even go to the main altar. They'll go to Shani Bhagavan in the temple and do the Eldukari and come back. Why? Fear. Shani Bhagavan is not doing anything actually for that matter. He is not doing anything. All the devatas are there. Shani Bhagavan is another devata. Like all the Navagrahas, only the names. There are so many devatas. Each devata is giving you some pala based on what you have done in the past. But what happens is we do not know that. And you don't study the scriptures. That's why people are so fearful. You see, you go to the temple today, you go to Tirunallar, so much of crowd. Why? Fear. Bhagavan says, I am Bhayanashanaha. So Bhayam can be taken away in two ways. The first way is by being a Karma Yogi. Even if you don't have the proper knowledge, And even then, Bhagavan says, you be a karma yogi, I will remove your fear. This is one aspect. Of course, if you want to total elimination further, then Bhagavan says you come further and study the Shastra, get the knowledge, what is that Aham Brahmasmi, then completely intellectually you are completely clear. Then the fear completely is eliminated also. So Karma Yoga itself will give you a fear. Will remove the fear. So Karma Yoga itself will remove the fear, which is very, very important and we need to do it. So he's a Bhayanashanaha. Move on. Go to shloka number 90. Anurbrihat krishastulo gunarbhr nirguno mahan adrita swadrita swasyah pragvam shovam shavardhanah. Anurbrihat krishastulo gunarbhr nirguno mahan adrita swadrita swasyah pragvam shovam shavardhanah. Anuhu, the subtlest. First one is Anuhu, the subtlest. What is Bhagavan? Bhagavan is Anu. Anu literally means an atom, something infinitesimally small, very, very small, very subtle. Even the atom is an object of consciousness, but consciousness itself has no size and therefore subtlest. Therefore, as Atma, he is called Anu, to show that he is the subtlest. So don't think you are objectifying Bhagavan. It is, just now we said Bhagavan cannot be objectified, achintyam. So you cannot objectify Bhagavan. So it is just to indicate it's a subtlest, very sukshma. That's what you need to understand. So again, even the atom can be seen by a very, very powerful microscope, but consciousness cannot be understood. So Upanishad says, Mundago Upanishad says, Eshonuratma Chetasa Veditavyaha. The subtle Atma has to be understood by the mind. So don't try to objectify. When you say Anuhu, then you can go to the electron microscope and then go and look at it like this. It is not so. He is beyond comprehension because he doesn't have any form at all. Nirgunam, no form. That's because we just saw, right? There's no form at all for Lord. So he is the Anuhu, refers to the subtlest. Similarly, immediately it says Brihat. That means the biggest. So Bhagavan is Brihat because he is infinitely big and also the cause for the growth of this Jagat. He manifests as infinitely big. He manifests, appears as. He is bigger than the biggest. That is bigger than what you think is big. So the Shruti says, Anorariyan Mahato Mahiyan. It says, it is subtlest of the subtlest, biggest of the biggest. It comes in the Mahanarayana Upanishad as well as the Kathopanishad. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. So Anoraniyan means subtler than atom, so that we should not conclude that he is very, very small. So it is immediately, he says, Mahato Mahiyan, bigger than the biggest. So this rules out any concept of size for the Atma. By saying he is subtler than the subtlest, bigger than the biggest, what is saying is Bhagavan is formless. That's what you have to understand. So rules out any concept of the size. So if it has got no size, then one may conclude that it does not exist at all. In fact, it is existent and it is limitless. So being big, limitlessly big, it is Purna, it is a whole. So this is it's got a lot of philosophical explanation was there. This is a simple explanation. This much is sufficient for now. Then Krishaha, one who is thin. Then Stulaha, one who is gross. So let us look at it together. Krishaha means who is thin. Stulaha means who is gross. Again, similar concept to Anu and Brihat. So same way. The two Namas, in fact, rather you have to take all the four Namas, which is Anu, Brihat, Krishaha and Stulaha. All the four Namas you take together, what can be seen or objectified, that alone can be talked about as big, small, thin, thick, so on. But the Surupa of Bhagavan is pointed out in the Upanishad as na astulam, na ananu, like this it is given. Not gross, not small. It comes in the Brihadaranya Upanishad. Na astulam, ananu, na akrasvam and adirgam. So not gross, not small, not short, not tall, like this. That the word Krisha, emaciated or small, is used to show that he is not stula, gross. And the word stula, fat and gross is to show that he is not Krishna, small and thin. At the same time, if Bhagavan has no size, then what about the small thing and big things that we see? They are all Bhagavan, and hence in the form of all the small and emaciated things, he is Krishna. In the form of all the fat and gross things, he is Stula. But his own standpoint, he is neither Stula nor Krishna. Put it in a simple way, mixed with Maya, I mean the Bhagavan repeatedly what he says is called Brahman, which is the ultimate one. In the Vedantic concept, we call it as a consciousness. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So the Brahman has got no form at all. So there's no question of big, small, fat, thin, nothing like this. Nothing is existing. Along with Maya, mixed with Maya, Brahman mixed with Maya appears as the universe, and that is the biggest of biggest. I mean, the whole thing is, can you see the astrophysicists say the universe is growing. In fact, they say the space is growing further. We do not know how many billions of galaxies we have got. So it is so big. Similarly, atom, nanoparticles, subparticles, so many things are there. So everything is there. So mixed with Maya, it appears to be vast and appears to be smaller, appears to be big, appears to be fat, appears to be thin, all those things, all mixed with Maya. Factually speaking, Bhagavan has got no form at all. So that's what it is. Next one. Gunabrit. No, locus of all qualities. Locus of all qualities. These are all very, very Upanishadic terms actually. It requires a lot of explanation. Swami Dayananda has given a very simple way. I'll try to explain it, what he has written. So he is Gunabrit, the Adhisthana, the locus of all the gunas, qualities, but does not become a guni, one who possesses the gunas. Let me explain you the example of pot. So potness is a quality and attribute. Potness is a quality and attribute. To whom does it belong? The potness cannot belong to the pot because there is no pot. There is only clay. Therefore, we have to say that it belongs to the clay, which is the non-pot. The clay is a guni having the guna, the attribute of potness. If this were so, then wherever there is a clay, then the clay should be with the potness. That is, it should be a pot. But we do not find that to be so also. Clay can manifest in many forms or just remain as a lump of clay. So even though clay does not possess the attribute of potness, but still we have to attribute it to the clay alone. Since the potness cannot exist anywhere else, therefore clay is the adhisthana, the locus for the pot, the locus for this incidental attribute called potness. As potness is only name and form, this attribute is apparent. So take this example. So too Brahman lends its being to all the attributes, since it is the locus for all the attributes. With reference to creations, sustenance, and resolution of the universe, Bhagavan as though assumes the gunas of Rajas, Sattvam, and Tamas, respectively, presides over them, and hence he is Gunabhrita. Gunabhrita. It appears to be that way. This is a very, very profound concept. We will leave it at this point as such. Then Nirgunaha. So see, again, it is diametrically opposite thing. Earlier we have said Gunabhrita, locus of all qualities, immediately Nirgunaha, free from qualities. So from the standpoint of pot, again we'll take the pot example. From the standpoint of pot, we say the clay has got the quality of potness. Similarly, from the standpoint of creation, we say the Bhagavan is Gunabhrit, having the quality of gunas. But from the standpoint of clay, it has neither potness, nor cupness, nor any attribute. So too, from his own standpoint, Bhagavan is just limitless consciousness, essentially free from all gunas. So Bhagavan is essentially Nirguna. But through Maya Shakti has attributes of names and forms, which constitute the entire Jagat, in which our body mind complex are also included. If you look at the Vedantic terminologies, there are two lakshanams we say: Tatastha lakshanam and Swarupa lakshanam. Tatastha lakshanam means with reference to the world, connecting to the world. Swarupa lakshanam means independent of the world. So Tatastha lakshanam, with reference to the world, we give all these Gunabrit. He is a locus of gunas with respect to the world. That's why we say the whole universe is Bhagavan. Sagasra Sirisha Purusha. Like this we say Vishwam Vishnuhu. That's why Vishnu Sahasranaamam starts. So with referring to the world, the whole universe is God only. Initially we say it is all God. Then when we go to advanced Vedanta, we say it only appearance of the God. Initially we say Bhagavan manifests as the universe. Then later we will say Bhagavan is only a appearing as the universe. So we'll change the tune little later. So with reference to the world, the whole universe is Bhagavan. That is what we are trying to establish by looking at everything as a Bhagavan. But on its own, if you look at it, is without any form, nirgunaha, without any form at all. So otherwise put it this way, with Maya Shakti, Bhagavan is the universe. With minus Maya, Bhagavan has got no guna at all. So Brahman with the dress of Maya is universe, which includes all the jivas. Brahman plus Maya is equal to Jagat and all the jivas. In fact, put it Ishvara, Jagat and Jiva, all the three you have to say. Brahman minus Maya has got no guna at all, no form at all. That is what is called Brahman, Brahman alone. So this is the Tatastha Lakshanam and the Swarupa Lakshanam. That's how the Upanishads explain. The next one, Mahan, one who is great. Mahan, one who is great. He is free from all gunas and cannot be objectified. He is limitless, free from limitations of time and so on, and hence not the object of words. So for the sake of argument, he cannot be limited in any way because he is free from Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, etc. The subtlest and ever pure and all pervasive. So he is Mahan. Mahan means great. He is great. That's what it is. Then Adritaha. Now Adritaha, one not supported by anyone. So he is Mahan, supports everything. The earth supports all the beings on the earth. Earth and other planets are all supported in the orbit by various natural forces. All these forces, and therefore everything is supported by him. But he is Adrita, not supported by anything else. He is independent, Swatantra. That's what it is. You have to understand. Swatantra. Then Adrita, then Swadritaha. Swadritaha means what? Self-sustaining. So the question will come, if he is not supported, then who is that? If he is not supported by anything else, how does he get support? So there must be some form of support. If such a doubt arises, it is said he is Swadrita. Swadrita. That means self-existent, self-sustaining, self-supporting, not sustained by anything else. In Chandogya Upanishad, when Sanat Kumara talks about the truth of Bhuma Vidya, Narada asks him, Sa Bhagavaha Kasmin Pratishtitaha. Sir, where is it established, supported? Sanat Kumara replies, Swa Mahimni. Swa Mahimni. It is its own glory. It comes in the 7th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad. These are all very profound concepts. For those who do not understand, leave it as such. Don't confuse yourself. Understand this much. Original Bhagavan is formless. Bhagavan which appears, he takes avatara, there is a form, and Bhagavan as a universe is everything is Bhagavan. This much you understand, that is sufficient. Then Swasya, one who has a beautiful face. Asya means face, mainly the mouth, because Asya or Mukham both can denote in Sanskrit either the face or the mouth. He is Swasya, one with a beautiful face, beautiful mouth, because the entire Vedas have come from his mouth. The Vedas are made up of words which gives the means for attaining all the Purusharthas. Because as I told you, Veda is the user manual for the universe, all the human beings, not for other beings. Veda is the user manual given to the humankind for understanding Ishvara, understanding the self. So it is you are able to understand everything by the user manual Bhagavan, user manual Vedas. So you are able to get the dharma, artha, kama can be done, can be attained. Ultimately, moksha purushartha only through Vedas we come to know. So he is Swasya. Then Pragbamshaha. Pragbamshaha means one who was the one whose race started before the Jagat. Pragbamshaha. The Vamsha, the race, the Kula, we say, no, Jati, Kula, and all race of all of others came into being after the world is created. When the human beings came into being on this earth, the rishis were already there, and hence the Vamsha starts from them. So then came from the famous Vamsha like the Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha, Raghu Vamsha, now Yadukula Vamsha, all those things we study. Whereas the race of Bhagavan, that is the Jagat, has been in existence before all that. So as the Vamsha of Bhagavan is Prag. Prag means what? Before every Vamsha, right from the beginning, when the Parampara started, he is Prag Vamsha. He is the one who existed before the Prapancha itself. Before the Prapancha, the manifest universe came, he was in unmanifest form. Avyaktat Vyaktaya Sarvaha Prabhavanti Harahame. We have seen in the Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter. So everything in its unmanifest form, that again gets manifest. Manifest again goes into unmanifest. It keeps on doing like this. So he is beyond those rays at all. He is beyond the rays of the Jagat. Then Vamshavardhanaha, one who expands the Vamsha. Vamshavardhanaha. He is the cause of the entire Jagat, hence called Vamshavardhana. He is the one who expands the Jagat, the one who withdraws the Jagat. It is because of him that the Vriddhi, the growth of the Jagat, which is his Vamsha, takes place. Because the universe, of course, when you go to the Gita or other texts, Bhagavatam, it will tell you the life of this universe, when it is all those things. In the Sankalpa, we say Ashtavim Satitime, Kaliyuke, Pradame Pade, Jambudvive, all those things we get it. So, basically what happens? Everything expands, then everything contracts. Srishti, then Srishti means the entire universe from unmanifest state comes up. Then it sustains for some time, it grows, then it decays, then again it goes into Pralaya state. Because when the everything was, it's called Panchikaranam. When the whole thing came up, it's called Panchikaranam, the manifestation of the entire universe in a gradual process. It is given in different ways in different Puranas and different places, but it doesn't matter to us. It came from the unmanifest, then comes to subtle form, from subtle to it's come to gross form. It's called grossification, Panchikaranam. And then finally it decays gradually, again goes back to the Pralaya. Within this period, we are all fighting like mad. Everything is Bhagavan only. As I often tell you, the human race itself, we say we put some billions of years or whatever number of years in this earth. Each science will say something. We are in this world so many thousands of years, we do not know. But we are all there again, we will all go back. So why do you fight? Why can't we live in harmony? So when you understand all these things, what the Shastra expects us is to live in peace and harmony. That is what is called really the unity in diversity. Forget all the nations, caste, creed, race, religion. Go beyond all of them. Start visualizing everything as Bhagavan, one Bhagavan. That is what it is. And don't get into petty things and petty fight of religious fights. Never you should have. There's only one. There's Bhagavan. That's it. Anyhow, move on. Go to 91. Next shloka. Bharabhrit katito yogi yogish sarvakamadah ashrama shramadha kshama suparno vaivahanah. Bharabhrit katito yogi yogish sarvakamadah ashrama shramadha kshama suparno vaivahanah. Here, one chanting principle which is taught, I'm just telling you. In the second line, ashramaha, shramanaha, kshamaha. So whenever you are chanting the Vishnu Sahasranaamam stotram, Ashrama Shamanaha Kshamaha nu padikkanum. You have to read like this. Ashrama Shamanaha Kshamaha. Because whenever the letter Ksha, K-S-H-A, Ksha, comes, before that, if there is a Visarga, there are two dots given. Because Shamanaha, the Ha is called Visarga. Whenever the Visarga sound comes, then the Visarga has to be pronounced distinctly. Whenever there's a KSH, Ksha comes after the Visarga. So in this case, Shamanaha, then Kshamaha is there. So Ashrama, Shamanaha, Kshamaha. In other cases, when the Visarga is there, you have to just give an emphasis. Ashrama, Sh, and only the, if the ish, then ish sound is to be emphasized. Is means is side has to be emphasized. If it's a pa, then it has to be emphasized by the F sound. Like this, it is there in the chanting. Whereas in the case of ksha comes, then it has to be very clearly spelled out. So ashrama, shamanaha, kshamaha. That's how one has to chant. This is how I was taught. So Bharabrit means one who carries the weight of the Jagat. Bhagavan is Bharabrit because all the Bhara means what? Different kinds of loads of everyone, including the emotional load, is carried by Bhagavan alone. People worry about the world being overpopulated, always fight over some issue or other. You can see all those things going on. The biggest world war is going to come because of water. That's what people predict. Because more and more now we are fighting for all the minerals, all the oil. That's where the fight is going on. In the later period of this century itself, people will say, with the global warming and climate warming, we will be fighting for water because we are overpopulated. The latest, last about a month ago, there was a news. We will go up to 10 billion when we will start shrinking slowly. I don't know when it is going to happen. That's what they predict. So we always fight for some issue or other. So in a way, it is an expression of an inner emptiness. We cannot carry the weight of the world and all its worries. If at all we can do something, it is to be responsible enough not to contribute in any way to load and to surrender onto Him. That means what? We are not going to carry the load of this universe. That is Bhagavan's responsibilities. Bhagavan's responsibility. Our responsibility is only to be a contributor. That means I don't pollute much. I don't consume more. I take less from this world and give more. That is my attitude. But Bhagavan will take care of running this whole world. He carries the weight. He will carry the load. We need not even unload our burdens at His feet because He is already carrying them. We need not unload our burden because He is already carrying them. I'll give you an example for this. Because what is the thing is, there is somebody who was going on a moving train. The train is already there. On the train, this man is standing and he is carrying his luggage on top of his head, which is heavy also. So somebody said, no, why don't you put it down? He said, no, I want to carry my luggage. Yeah, you put it down, the train will carry it anyhow. But he refused to do that. He still wants to carry. We are all like that only. Don't look at this. I mean, we look at this example and laugh at the person who is carrying the load in a moving train. But we are all as fools are like that person. We are also fools. By what? By carrying worries. Because Bhagavan is Bharabrit. He is carrying the entire Jagat. So why are you loading your mind with other worry? You download it and give it to Bhagavan. Bhagavan is already carrying everything. Give it to Bhagavan. He will worry. He will not worry. He will carry it. You don't need to be. So empty your mind of all the worries. Because ultimately, what is our very purpose of our living? We all want to be happy. We all want to be peaceful. We all want to have a tranquil, peaceful existence here. That means what? We should not carry any burden in our mind. How will you do it? You offload it to Bhagavan. Bhagavan is carrying anyhow. Like the moving train example, where the train is already carrying the load. Why are you carrying the load on top of you? Similarly, you download everything and Bhagavan will carry. Already is carrying, not Bhagavan will carry. Bhagavan is already carrying it. Only thing is you have to shed it from your mind. So because everything is mind is all. Everything is depending on the mind only. So you have to be very, very clear about it. So don't carry anything with you. How will you do it? How will you do this? Not to carry the worry in your mind. We will explain it in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mayi Mayishaha Gobrahmanebhyo Shubhamast Nityam Loka Samastat Sukhino Bhavantu. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Krishna Arpanamastu. Hari Om.